I'm Sean Donovan,
I'm Trevor Sorek.
and welcome to The Fine Cut. On this episode, we're going to be discussing the new Kenneth Branagh film, A Haunting in Venice. This is his third film that deals with the Poirot character, and is the second in the past 3 years. We'll be discussing the new film, Haunting in Venice, as well as, the other... Give me a second. As well as his past two Poirot films, Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile. But yeah, before we get into that, Trevor, how's it been?
It's been a solid week.
Yeah, nothing.
That's the only input I have. It's
been a solid week.
Time has passed.
That is true, since we did the Bottoms episode.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been an all right week for me as well. But you know what?
I didn't ask.
Okay, then. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. The Fine Cut is over now.
No, it's not.
It's not. But I was gonna say, you know what? It has been. It's been a good week for movies and movie announcements and movie news. So I have some.
Hit me.
I have some fun little things. As
I don't know about actual movie releases.
Yeah. There's only really one.
Which that's kind of the important thing for a lot of people. But anyway.
But anyways, throwing in some little movie news at the beginning, as we always do. But as we talked about last week, TIFF was going on.
Toronto International Film Festival.
Yep, the Toronto International Film Festival. It's finishing up tomorrow. We're recording this on Saturday the 16th, and tomorrow is the last day of the festival. But this also gave us some, movies to look out for, and movies that we hope to cover on this show. So here is 3 good movies, quote unquote good movies, that kind of came out from the festival that are hopefully going to be released. And one that's releasing pretty soon. Dumb Money, the GameStop stock market movie.
Everyone remembers the real life events, maybe.
Yeah, back in 2020 or 2021.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, they made a movie on it, and it's coming out soon. It's like in the next month. That got a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. A lot of critics actually enjoyed it. So I'm very excited because I'm pretty sure I had that on my top 20 top 10 list, most anticipated. But what do you think of Dumb Money? I totally forgot what you were.
I mean, if it's in the same vein as like The Big Short, then I'm on board. But if it's not, well then,
yeah. I think a lot of people compared it to The Big Short, or kind of if you like The Big Short, it would be that.
The thing that scares me with that one is the trailer. There's just a bunch of swearing and like Pete Davidson footage. So it's like, is this actually going to be funny, or are they going to be trying too hard,
Yeah, but I mean, it's Pete Davidson's like,
not a huge Seth Rogen fan, so
I don't know. I have a feeling that the like Pete Davidson part is not going to be super huge. I'm mainly there for Paul Dano.
Okay. Well, yeah, of course.
But it is directed by Craig Gillespie, who did the I, Tonya movie, which was pretty critically acclaimed, as well as Cruella from 2021. So he's kind of got, he's got a kind of an interesting track record.
Yeah, interesting for sure.
But also one that I know has a good track record, Richard Linklater's film Hitman was there.
Nothing to do with the video games. Yeah.
No, it's starring Glenn Powell from Top Gun Maverick. That's what I was thinking of.
And other movie where he's playing an airplane pilot.
Wait,
the one that came out later.
Yeah, Devotion. Wait, he
was also a
I
plane
forgot
pilot.
about that.
Yeah,
he was in Devotion.
He wasn't flying a jet in that one. It was a World War II era.
But he also has another movie coming out later this year, Anyone But You, with Sydney Sweeney.
He should only be a pilot from now on.
Well, in Hitman, he's
plays a pilot.
Surprisingly not. He plays a hitman. This
Oh, like the title of the film.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is written by, him and Linklater. The premise is an undercover Houston police officer poses as a poses as a reliable hitman to arrest those trying to hire him until he tries to save a woman in need.
So he's doing like a honeypot situation.
Kind of, yes.
I'm totally a hitman. Hire me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sadly, this doesn't have a distributor, and a lot of people. It's come out of the festival, and
they're gonna hand it out personally. They're gonna be like,
I think people
theater,
on Twitter are actually saying like, "I'll hand it out personally, guys. I promise." Like, so.
Just imagine Glenn Powell outside the movie theater. He's like, "Hey, here, take my movie." He's like
here,
handing out DVDs.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a low quality like res of the movie.
He got like bit crunched or something really bad.
The audio is just kind of off, like it's missing the first 10 minutes. But it's sitting at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's 39 critics review.
That's not that many.
That's not a lot, but it's still like it's.
I need a bigger sample size.
For 30, like 40 people, 40 like high critics said that this was good.
39 people. I mean, that's a low enough number where they could have paid them. Okay.
This was also at the Venice Film Festival, and
that ties into the movie that we're talking about.
Which
does. Also takes place in Venice.
Well, we'll get to it. But yeah, this doesn't have any distributor yet, so a lot of people are like, "Is it going to be coming out this year?" I hope it does.
They could always ask us to distribute it for them.
Of course, I have a Blu-ray disc burner.
I have a huge reach.
This podcast is a lot. Just give us the video file. We'll put it up on our YouTube page. It's fine. Hit me up, Richard. But then the next one that I had on here, the third one, I kept it to
limited. Okay,
I limited to
good
3.
job, because normally you talk about like 10.
Yeah, but I'm becoming a better podcaster now.
Yeah, okay.
But the one big one that was bought like right after its premiere, it didn't have a distributor, and it was bought by Netflix for $11 million. It's called The Woman of the Hour. It's a new film directed by Anna Kendrick. It's her first movie that she's directed.
Oh, Cup Girl.
Yeah, the Cup Song Girl.
The Pitch Perfect girl. No way.
Yeah. But in this, it's based on the real life. It's kind of, I don't know if it's directly based on it, but it's directly it's the
loosely based on something.
It's definitely based on it. What I'm saying is it a, I don't know if it's a
based on what?
Hold on. No, it is. It's a nonfiction movie, nonfiction story, I should say, but it's about the serial killer Rodney Akala, who appeared on The Dating Game and won a date. And then tried to
and what time era?
This was 1978.
I was gonna say
he has an
interesting.
It's a very interesting story, but Anna Kendrick. It says here it's a American period crime drama. So a lot of people said that this was really good. It looks like it's got a decent cast. Anna Kendrick is in it, as well as Daniel Zovato.
Nice. Z-Man.
So the only other real name that I see is Tony Hale, which anything he's in I'm fine with. But yeah, that was bought by Netflix for $11 million. And
that's it.
Yeah. It is I don't know if it has a release date yet, but it's sitting at a 92 on Rotten Tomatoes. So
92? That's not 100. I don't want to watch it.
So you'll watch Hitman instead?
It's at 100.
Well, of course. But yeah, so those were like some of the big ones. Those were some of the big news that came from TIFF, but there was also some bad movies at TIFF. I should put quotes around bad movies, but
there's no such thing as a bad movie.
The two that I think had the most traction is Taika Waititi's new film, Next Goal Wins.
I heard a lot of slander about.
It's very mixed. I think it's sitting like at like 59% Rotten Tomatoes. So like it's that like when it gets released to the public, it should.
I saw some posts. I saw some posts on X.
Oh yeah. Are you trying to appease Elon Musk?
That's what
right
it's
now?
called.
Yeah.
I saw some posts on X. That were totally ripping into Taika. So
yeah. it's very mixed right now. I'm losing a little faith in Taika Waititi. I thought Jojo Rabbit was great. Hunt for the Wilder People is great.
I never even saw Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit's fun. It's not. It's a fun movie, but the context is not great.
The way he did my boy Thor, I can't trust him no more.
Thor: Love and Thunder was not great. But
No.
yeah, this one, it's only time will tell kind of thing. It's like, of course, because these festival critics.
The time will tell, and the time will say not good.
Not probably, but I mean, the festival critics are kind of interesting because they're the ones that are like very snobbish and snooty a little bit.
I was gonna say that as a joke, but then you said it. You're throwing slander. You mean people who pay thousands of dollars to go to these festivals because they're big names, and so they can have champagne and shrimp or whatever.
They're not eating champagne and shrimp. They're not doing that.
You think they're snobbish?
A little bit.
Okay.
Well, these are some of the people that once saw Indiana Jones at Cannes and was like, this movie's bad, and then it came out and everyone was like, it's not that bad, guys. Like, it's actually pretty fun. Like, we enjoyed it. Like, so.
But we enjoyed it despite its flaws.
Yeah. But anyways, what I'm saying is next goal wins. Only time will tell, I feel, how the public will react to it, because, Thor: Love and Thunder was pretty popular with people.
Maybe he'll win on the next goal.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But the last one that I have here is Pool Man. Did you hear anything about Pool Man?
No.
It's a
not to be confused with that one movie that came out. It was like something about a pool, right?
I don't
remember that, like, weird artsy film. Yes, you do.
I don't remember.
Like swimming pool.
There's not a. Is there a movie called Swimming Pool?
No.
I feel like
it had a Skarsgård in it.
Oh, Infinity Pool.
Thank you. Yes.
I don't know if it's like that.
When I say things like that, I'm not making them up. I promise.
You're going insane.
Infinity Pool, yeah.
I'm going to say, like, bugs are crawling under your skin, and you're going to be like, whoa! You're going to try to get them out.
I don't know. I saw, like, random parts of Infinity Pool. I was like, what is this?
Yeah. I have not seen a single thing about Infinity Pool, but Pool Man, though, is
that about a guy who plays billiards?
No, it's directed by Chris Pine.
Is he directed before?
I think not. It's his directorial debut. And this is the premise. A pool cleaner in L.A. uncovers a sizable water heist, one in the same vein as Chinatown.
Oh, I was literally just going to say Chinatown.
It has gotten shit on. It has a 23% on Rotten Tomatoes, which, of course, Rotten Tomatoes is not like, I only use Rotten Tomatoes as like
everyone was like, why would we watch this? Just watch Chinatown.
Yeah. I don't like Rotten Tomatoes, but it kind of gives a nice number, kind of thing. But
it gives like a lukewarm metric.
Yeah. But the cast, it's kind of sucks because the cast includes
Chris Pine.
he's the main lead.
See, it's like when you start directing, like, just direct. Like, don't also be in the movie.
Exactly.
Like, I feel like you're.
But at the same time, Anna Kendrick did the Woman of the Hour, and she's in it, and it's pretty good. So it's like,
well, maybe she's a little, smarter than Chris Pine. No offense.
Damn.
I don't know.
But the cast also includes Annette Bening, who we just saw in Death on the Nile.
We did?
Yeah, she's the mom in Death on the Nile.
Older lady?
Yes.
Okay.
Danny DeVito's in it. So, Ariana DeBose, Jennifer Jason Leigh. Kind of got a pretty good cast for
you lost me at
shitty.
Danny DeVito.
Do you not know who Ariana DeBose is? She's she's
there's
in
a
West
lot
Side
of
Story.
There's a lot of names I don't know, but if I saw their face, maybe.
Okay.
But
all right.
To be fair.
Yeah, the cast kind of good, but I guess it's not good. So, yay! I don't know if I'll be watching Pool Man, but what will be good? Aquaman 2. It got a trailer.
Oh, they found it out of the servers.
Yeah, it's not lost.
Wow.
Like we talked about last week, which was funny because they announced the trailer. the day after we recorded.
I watched it because it played on Thursday Night Football. So
oh, did it?
I was watching.
I did not see that.
Oh,
did they release the trailer on Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, the trailer. Okay. I don't know, man. Doesn't look too good.
Oh no, not Aquaman.
No, but I did see that they had what's his name? Black Manta.
Yeah,
the bad guy from the first one. He's sitting on a throne, like total.
I've only seen like
totally
the
like
stills.
Black Panther style.
Yeah,
where he's like, I'm
all
top
I've seen
dog
is
now,
the
like
still.
Killmonger or something.
All I've seen is the still of like him like sitting on there with the trident, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's all I really had to say about Aquaman 2.
It looks like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not watching it probably.
I don't know if I'll see it either.
Just skip to the James Gunn universe. Come
Honestly, it's
maybe you should lose Aquaman 2 in the servers. That's all I'm saying.
Honestly,
Warner Brothers, it's not too late to lose the film.
I would switch out Aquaman for at least Batwoman or Batgirl.
See, like, nowadays that everything isn't on film anymore, you can't make the excuse like, oh, it caught on fire and burned up. It's like you can't. It's on a computer.
Oh no, an intern went crazy and destroyed the server.
Oh no, the server fell into the ocean. Weird.
Aquaman just wanted to go back to his home, so we threw him in the ocean.
We felt like it was best.
But Aquaman
Jason
2,
Momoa, it's not too late to put a trident through the computer.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Just do it, please, Jason, please. Aquaman 2. It's not the most exciting thing.
Oh, I did see in the trailer he's wearing his iconic orange scale suit.
He always he's had that.
I feel like they didn't go. I feel like they made a more comic book accurate one in the trailer.
I know they brought a seahorse, like little seahorse guy. Like he rides a seahorse in the comics, and that's like the shot of him like coming out of the ocean.
Most seahorses in real life are so small. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of funny.
But this is a big one.
To imagine like a giant one. Anyway.
So another thing that was another thing that got a trailer was the new Wes Anderson Netflix short, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, and it also came out that it's not just one short, it's 4. They'll be releasing from the 27th to the 30th. It's The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar.
Are they like each an hour long?
I think they're each like 30 minutes probably.
Oh, okay.
So
it's like a series.
It's pretty much a 2-hour Wes Anderson anthology movie. But
he split it up for once because he's like, yeah, they're not related.
Yeah, I think so. But there's The Swan comes out on 28th, The Rat Catcher comes out on 29th, and Poison comes out on the 30th. So I'm excited. Those are all September, by the way. So it's in like 2 weeks. I'm excited.
The Rat Catcher made me think of the bad guy in Over the Hedge.
I was expecting you to say Ratcatcher from Suicide Squad.
Well,
we were talking about James Gunn. But
made me think of that too.
But
that was the Ratcatcher 2. First of all, Taika Waititi was Ratcatcher 1, right?
Oh my god, it's all connected. It's all connected. I didn't even realize that.
Was it Taika? I don't remember.
Taika was Ratcatcher 1. He wasn't Ratcatcher 2.
Flashback.
Come on. But yeah, so I'm excited for the Wes Anderson shorts. I think we're gonna be. I want to cover them.
Yeah, sure.
Coming up here, like 2 weeks from now.
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea. I'll tell it later. But
we're gonna talk about The Creator later this month too.
Yes. I think that comes out the same week. So there might be 2 episodes. I don't know.
We'll compete.
Well, yeah. But also, just quickly, Barbie. Gotta go. You gotta talk about Barbie and Oppenheimer.
No, we
still.
don't. It's
they
over.
announced
It's past.
It is over. But they did announce that Barbie will be competing for Oscars. And the reason why I brought this, or if it was, if it wasn't interesting, I wouldn't have done it. But Gosling, of course, coming in supporting actor, which is interesting because I think on the episode we predicted that he would be for best actor, but I think putting him in supporting is probably better. There's a better chance of him winning, I feel. But the one thing that's very surprising is that the script is not going to be an adapted screenplay. It's going to be in an original screenplay. which is odd because
What do they adapt it from?
normally, adapted screenplay would be any IP movie would be an adapted screenplay.
Maybe they wrote it. Maybe they wrote the kind of thing before it was a Barbie movie.
Maybe, but at the same time, a lot of people are like, I don't like. They're kind of wondering, is the Academy going to allow them to do this? Because
or shoot down,
and put in an adapted screenplay, which I think the reason why is basically because Oppenheimer is going to be an adapted screenplay.
It's based on a book.
It's based on a book. So
no, that's fair.
That's why I think Oppenheimer.
Well, it's based on a book. Win. So what do you want? You know.
Well, what I'm saying is, I think Oppenheimer's going to win that category.
They're just trying to get into a different category.
Yeah, I think they're trying to pull a little. They're pulling some strings to try to get a better odd.
Wow, it's almost like the award shows don't mean anything.
They really don't. But you know what else doesn't mean anything?
Life. What?
Well, I was gonna make a joke that Taylor Swift doesn't mean anything, but Taylor
don't
Swift,
you say that? She means the world to so many people.
She does. But
I think she's dating Travis Kelce now, the football player.
Is she?
I think so.
Maybe.
Okay, I didn't actually see anything that said that, but I'm putting together. I'm putting together context clues from things like
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, that would be an interesting. That'd be an interesting couple, but
Yeah, no kidding.
But my joke, but I was gonna say, but she does mean to $65 million worth of tickets.
That's it.
The pre-sale tickets right now are hitting $65 million. So, yeah, that's a little box office news, as well as Oppenheimer.
That's insane.
Just hit 900 million.
Well, think about it this way: she puts together a concert movie. The actual cost to go to her concert is like $2,000 minimum.
Exactly.
So it's not surprising at all that people are buying movie tickets to see her concert.
Yeah, but
it's way more affordable.
Definitely.
Like $20.
But I'm not gonna get into I have a whole gripe on the whole Taylor Swift thing, but I'm not gonna say it.
It's gonna win Best Adapted Concert.
I wouldn't be surprised if they try to put it in Best Documentary. I would not be surprised. But
do they actually have scenes in between her performing?
I have no clue.
Her day-to-day life.
But I think they would put it as a concert. Like, concert films are documentaries. It's weird. I don't understand them. I don't understand the category.
I mean,
who
can forget classic concert movies like the Justin Bieber one, the Jonas Brothers one, the Hannah Montana one.
Exactly.
This is Spinal Tap. I mean, that's so many classic ones.
Don't ever put Spinal Tap with those.
What? That's a documentary.
Movies. Just okay. But quickly finishing it up, is Oppenheimer just hit $900 million and it became the biggest biopic.
That's it.
Yep. It's a very small chance that it'll hit $1 billion. So
it's pretty good.
Yeah. It's very interesting that, the juxtaposition between Taylor Swift of like, oh, this is a concert film and it's making a lot of money, where Oppenheimer made a lot of money, and it's not an original drama, but it's a more
historical
drama. But it's a historical drama, and people are actually seeing it. So, but yeah, that's all. That's pretty much all the movie news.
To be fair, kind of an important world history.
Oh, very much so. But yeah, that's all the movie news I had. I thought I picked out some stuff that I thought you would like, and I thought it would be interesting. So
thank you for the news dump.
Of course, as always. Good thing that this isn't 40 minutes like last week when I just sat here and talked about TIFF.
News dumps are fun.
Yeah,
it's fun to be informed.
Exactly. But you know what is fun? Haunting in Venice. Nice little segue.
Whoa.
Yep.
Ghosts. When Poirot was tending his garden in Venice, I was just like, man, when is he gonna see Spider-Man?
What?
The whole Far From Home, he's in Venice.
Oh, sorry, I didn't. I was like, what do you mean, Spider-Man?
No, it's actually really funny because now that seems like a lot of films are being filmed in Venice. No surprise, they have their own film festival. So they
also have a very beautiful landscape in history and culture.
Yeah, but that's not important. I'm talking about movies. Okay, so Haunting in Venice.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Far From Home. John Wick, even though that's supposed to be Paris.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I know what I'm talking about. Also, Dead Reckoning. Mission Impossible.
Yes, Dead Reckoning was in Venice. I forgot about that.
Definitely Fast and Furious, 10? The 10th one? Fast X?
They were in Rome.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were. Fast X, I'm pretty sure Fast X was never in Venice. If it was, I did not catch it. I'm looking right now. Give me a second. Yeah, it's coming up nothing.
No, but no, I'm thinking of Dead Reckoning. Okay, maybe not Fast X. It's still Italy though. Anyway, that's 4 movies where you see the same bridge. The same bridge over the canal.
Yep.
That one particular canal, for some reason, is really the hot spot. Now, I don't know why that is.
It's just a nice location. I think, honestly, like, people just want to go to Venice. And they're like, oh, we can't CGI this beautiful bridge. We got to film there.
No, it's like that one particular part of town is, like, easy to control, like, foot walkers or whatever. So, like let's shut down this little part of town for a film. And then, like, oh, Warner Brothers sees whatever studio. They're like, I want in on that. And then they do the same thing.
Have all those... Okay, so you said Dead Reckoning, like Haunting in Venice.
Yeah.
What else was this past year? Or John Wick. You said John Wick 4.
Yeah, John Wick, even though it was supposed to be Paris.
Okay, so John Wick 4. And then you said Spider-Man, which I'll count, even though that came out in 2019. But those are, I think you do have some basis there, because all four of those are from different studios.
Those are from, those are also 4 very big movies. Think about all the other movies that you didn't think of.
That is true,
that all have that same stupid bridge in it. It's not even like a cool bridge. It's just a bridge over a canal.
It's just a bridge. It's a cool... okay. Well, maybe that's what makes it cool. It's just a bridge.
It's just a random bridge.
Yeah. But,
Anyways,
Haunting in Venice.
Yeah, Haunting in Venice.
Let's get into, this. The third... Oh, geez. Excuse me. The third film in the Hercule Poirot, right?
Series, yeah.
Series that is all directed by Kenneth Branagh.
Based on the Agatha Christie books.
Yes. Branagh, of course, plays Poirot in all these films.
And he directed...
He directed all of them.
All 3 of them.
He directed all 3 of them as well. So, but this is the third one. It's technically a little bit of a deviation from the other 2, because this is based on a book, but it's very much more... They add a lot more original story beats into it.
Okay.
But of
Haven't
course...
read the books, obviously.
I have not either. I actually did look up... while I was watching Death on Nile, I was like, I should probably read some of these. And I looked them up, and... they are very easy to find, literally at any Barnes & Noble, so I'm going to probably go pick one up.
There's also older versions of these movies. There's Death on the Nile had one from, like, what, the 70s?
Yes.
Or maybe even earlier, like
78.
60s.
They had a 78 version, and then Murder on the Orient Express also had.
Didn't watch those.
I didn't watch it either.
So we're not talking about those. We're only talking about the modern ones, but...
Yeah.
I wonder if they're good. I'm curious. But.
I think... Let me see. Murder on the Orient Express, the 74 film, using Rotten Tomatoes again. It sits at 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, as well as a 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb.
We watched maybe the wrong ones.
Yeah, that's very true.
Well,
but
we're critiquing the modern ones,
of course, because we can't critique the old ones when they're not. Kenneth Branagh and fucking Poirot, and Jesus Christ, the plane going over. Hopefully that's not being picked up. But Death on the Nile has a 7.2 out of 10 and a 78 on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's the old one. That's the 78 one. So
the modern one's probably not good.
I think both Death on the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express sit at the same.
Really?
Same one? Like
I would not say they're equally bad.
I wouldn't either, but anyways, we'll get into those because we'll discuss them here in a little bit later.
I want to mention before I forget, Haunting in Venice early on in the film has one of the best edits of all time. Poirot's bodyguard, like a bunch of people are harassing Poirot to solve their problems because he's a detective, right?
Yeah.
So one of them like touches him or whatever, and the bodyguard is like, nah, and he pushes him over the railing of the bridge in the canal, and he falls, and then it hard cuts to them being on a boat, so it looks like they ran him over in the boat.
I was gonna say
funniest edit I've ever seen.
I was gonna say honestly about this, I was like,
what a great cut.
I was gonna say I think it's I was gonna be like, I don't think that's what they meant, but I was gonna say I did think that.
No, but like, how else are you supposed to interpret that? He falls over the railing.
I think it's just supposed to be the splash.
And then hard cut.
It's supposed to be just like a splash. Like
he splashes in, and then there's them on the boat.
It's the
If that was unintentional,
that is very funny. If it was
incredibly
like,
funny.
He gets ran over. But anyways, Haunting in Venice. It's the as we said, third in the Poirot series, directed by Kenneth Branagh. With Branagh as Poirot. This movie is another ensemble cast. It stars Kyle Allen, Camille Cotton, Jamie Dornan, Tina Fey, Jude Hill, Ali Khan, Emma Laird, Kelly Riley, Ricardo, of course, one of the last names I can't pronounce. Scamaccio.
Is it two C's?
It's one C.
Oh. Then
Scamaccio and Michelle Yeoh.
We know Michelle Yeoh, of course.
Michelle Yeoh, best actor or
Everything,
actress,
Everywhere, All at Once,
winner. But
and other things,
of course. But starting this off,
I just want to say Jude Law. I kept thinking, man,
Jude Law.
Is that who you said?
Jude Hill.
Jude Hill.
Yes, that's the little boy.
Oh. Wait, who is the doctor?
Jamie Dornan.
Jamie Dornan, I kept thinking, man, that really needs to be Superman.
Yeah, he kind of
the mustache. He looks like Henry Cavill.
He looks like unmuscular Henry Cavill in this.
He didn't look that unmuscular.
Well, he's definitely fit, but he's not.
He could be Henry Cavill's brother.
He could,
and he was also British, wasn't he?
Yes, I think he's Irish.
Basically Henry Cavill.
But we've talked about it a little bit.
You think Henry Cavill did his stunts in this movie?
No. Probably not. But let's I think good place to start any murder mystery is the story and the plot. What do you think of the Let's keep the twists.
Compare and contrast.
We'll keep the twists at the end.
Let's do a little compare and contrast.
Okay.
So, Murder on the Orient Express. That one had Johnny Depp as basically just an evil dude. Okay.
Yeah.
And he was there's people out to get
evil mob boss.
Yeah. And his whole deal is like, there's people out to get me. Like, someone on this train's out to get me. So that's the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Second one, Gal Gadot totally steals Emma Mackey's man, and then they go on the wedding, and then Emma Mackey shows up, and they're like, she's totally out to get us. Poirot, help us. And that's the second one. The third one is like, hey, I'm Tina Fey. I'm trying to write a book, and I'm trying to discredit this medium person because she's full of crap. Poirot, I need you to tell me how she does it.
Yeah.
So, like, the third one is different.
It
starts off like Poirot. It's like, okay, he's a world famous detective. How is he gonna get roped into this, murder mystery?
Mm-hmm.
The third one is just like, he's just kind of doing a thing for fun.
Yeah,
he's going to like a seance. Like,
I'll be completely honest.
That's way more believable. Him getting involved.
Yeah. Well, like, if we're doing compare and contrast, it's like Orient Express and Nile. They both have the like, oh, he's on the case. It's like, here's a case.
You're on the case.
You gotta help us. Where this is like,
the third one is like,
hey,
he's just in a place, and they're like, oh, yeah. I gotta put my detective.
It's not a case. It's just like, oh, together. It's a party. I get to, I'm just gonna be here and kind of
like
notice, do a little bit of sleuthing, but not a lot because
He was on like a case, but it was like just how does the medium trick everyone?
Yeah.
It wasn't like a serious thing.
It's almost
and then it becomes a serious thing.
And then, exactly. And I think if we're, going into the story and plot of it, of course, this starts off with Poirot is...
well, just for anyone who hasn't seen these movies, basically it's one of those point-and-click mystery games that you play on the computer. Like all three of these movies. Easily, because there's like a small random detail, like, oh, the scarf, like someone stole. It's like, oh, it's laying under that. Like, it's a point and click mystery.
It really is, yeah. But it opens. I think we'll go in a little. If you haven't seen this movie, go watch it. It's worth your time, I'd say.
Haunting in Venice is the best out of the three. I think we both agree on that.
Yeah, we'll say that up front because I think we need, murder mysteries, you have to spoil. You can't talk about Knives Out without spoiling the ending. You can't talk about, you can't talk about murder mysteries without spoiling it. So this is going to be spoiler.
Spoiler, there's a haunting
reviews.
In the city of Venice.
Whoa. That's,
spoiler for Death on the Nile. Get this. There's a death on the Nile.
You want to hear a spoiler for Murder on the Orient Express?
Yeah, hit me.
There's a murder on the Orient Express.
What?
Yeah, it's insane. But
all right,
Haunting,
that bit's over. Sorry.
Yeah, Haunting in Venice. It starts with Poirot, played by
he's
played
like
by
retired.
He's just retired.
It's 47. It's post-war, World War II. So he's just chilling. Like
he's just like I'm done. I'm out of here. But then Tina Fey's character, can't remember her name exactly, which I'll be looking up right now. But she comes in and is like, "Hey, Poirot, you gotta help me. There's
a little bit of fun. You need to get out because you have no friends."
Yeah,
Poirot.
pretty much. But she then takes him to a party,
house party,
a Halloween party, and then after the party, there's a séance performed by Michelle Yeoh. And I think this is where the first like bit of my what I liked at least about it is that
it's so much more fun than the first two.
It is, yeah, exactly. And I think the reasoning why is because the séance, it's like when he figures out the séance and everything, it's very like all like this. That's when kind of the supernatural stuff starts a lot.
Yep.
And it's very grounded though. Like it's like but it's very.
They give you an explanation for everything
and grounded.
Which
exactly.
Is great. But there's also some room where like, there could be some other shenanigans going on.
Yeah.
The first two are very cut and dry. Like no otherworldly, no impossible things are happening.
Yeah.
It's all very calculated. The third one is more open to the possibility of something else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's more
and this is where the when you say that it's like open to something else, this is my one like big like this is the reason why I love this or like this movie a lot is
you corrected yourself.
Yeah. Well, I love the choice.
There's some very good choices being made.
But
it's almost like Kenneth Branagh learned something from the first two.
I think he learned when people were goofing on Death on the Nile. In all honesty,
yeah, because people didn't like that one for good reason.
But Murder on the Orient Express, it's very confined to the train, but at the same time, it's like they go outside the train and there's mountains and cliffs
that don't look real because it's all green screen.
Exactly. Death on the Nile, it's like it's confined to the boat, but they
everything
go to the pyramids and they go to like ruins and stuff, and it's like, oh, okay.
Doesn't look real.
Doesn't look real at all. When they go to the house, they pretty much stay in that house for the entire movie.
There's very little. Well, I don't think there's any green screen actually.
There is, but there definitely is, but
there's
a
tiny bit
minimal.
Of CGI in one part in particular two parts in particular where CGI looked not great.
What? We're in spoiler.
Oh, we're in
review.
spoiler territory?
Yeah, we said
okay.
that.
So when Michelle Yeoh is thrown over the balcony and impaled.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Michelle Yeoh is the first one to die, by the way.
Her shadow was definitely CGI, didn't look good.
Mm-hmm.
And then also at the end where it's Ghost Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know.
Yeah. But what I'm getting at is that it confines it to this house.
There's some great camera tricks too. I like when Poirot is like tripping and it's got like the steady cam on his head, but the background shaking around because he's like running around like a madman. That was great.
That was like,
I really like that.
That was like unintentional comedy for me because it's like
it's a little bit funny.
It's very funny, but it's just that camera movement. It's like you'd see that in like an action movie or something, like when someone's like running.
Yeah.
But it's just in this movie on Kenneth Branagh, and he's like, it's so ridiculous. But
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's very well done. But that use of the smaller space, it's like it helps with the atmosphere and the creepiness of everything, and like the supernatural that they're going on.
For a movie set in Venice, Italy, there sure are a lot of Dutch angles. It's like, whoa, which way is up? Whoa.
Okay.
Oh, I'm on an angle here.
I think earlier.
I think Dutch angles worked really well for this movie.
Earlier when I said this is over, no more fine cut, and that was a joke. After that joke, there is no more fine cut. We're done.
But it's not. They're not in Dutch territory here. They're in Italy.
Fine.
That's the joke.
Okay.
They're not called Italian angles.
Okay. But yeah, no, there is a lot of Dutch angles in that. That is like Kenneth Branagh.
Totally works for a haunted house.
It works in this one. It works in this one than the other ones because it's very off kilter. It's like, oh, I'm feeling a little weird here, and that's what I think the
Dutch angle's great for a haunted house movie. Not so much for a superhero film.
Yeah.
Did Branagh have anything to do with that one?
What?
Thor.
Yes, he directed the first Thor movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's it's a very interesting. He's a very
Dutch
interesting.
He directed
guy.
that?
He directed it. Yes.
No way.
But like where this, it's like it adds to the atmosphere, and I think
like
that's
he finally gets it. It's like when to use Dutch angles, when not to.
This is when he finally is like, he's like, I finally know how to use them.
I think Death on the Nile really did enlighten him.
I think so, because like his past two movies have kind of been like good movies. Cause right before this he did Belfast. Wait, hold on though. I think maybe he did Belfast after or before Death on the Nile. Hold on, I gotta look this up.
No, it was after.
No, it was before.
Really?
Yeah, Belfast came out in 2021. Death on the Nile came out in 2022. So,
wow,
but
it was that recent? Because that one made no impact whatsoever.
But Death on the Nile was filmed before Belfast. That's why
that makes sense.
That's why I was confused.
See, that makes sense.
It was supposed to, filming for Death on the Nile came out in 2019, or was started in 2019. Belfast started in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Death on the Nile just got pushed back a lot. But anyways, I think Death on the Nile, Haunting in Venice is very much unlike Death on the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express. It works like actually. And it's, I think it's also in the cast. I go, a little segue into the casting of this. I wrote this down for Murder on the Orient Express. This is Murder on the Orient Express is probably the best cast that any of these movies have on like a notable scale.
Yeah.
Because every single person in that, I'm like, oh, I know that guy. Oh, I know that guy. Oh, I know that guy. Oh, I know that girl. Oh, I know that.
Willem Dafoe doing his patented 3-minute.
Yeah, it's like
movie.
Well, let me pull up Murder on the Orient Express. Here's the cast for Murder on the Orient Express. You have Kenneth Branagh, Penelope Cruz, Willem Dafoe, Judi Dench, Johnny Depp, Josh Gad, Derek Jacobi, which is probably the most unrecognizable one, to a lot of people, but I know him. Leslie Odom Jr., Michelle Pfeiffer, Daisy Ridley, Olivia Colman, and then Lucy Boynton, who is in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah,
but
well, cast doesn't mean anything, because that honestly, well, Murder on the Orient Express is better than Death on the Nile, I think.
Yeah. Well, but what I was gonna say is that it's the cast is like on a notable level, really good. Like those are some big names. Even like the small character Olivia Colman, who plays the nurse in Murder on the Orient Express, literally after Murder went on to win the Oscar for Best Actress. It's like she's doing well for herself now. But like it is the most mid performances. It is so like there's such blandness in some of those performances that's like ugh.
Well, a lot of them don't get a lot of screen time. That's the other thing. When you have 13 characters or whatever, you're not going to spend a lot of time on one.
Exactly. But like Death on the Nile, it's, you have
Gal Gadot is like one of the main people.
Yeah. Gal Gadot, Armie Hammer, Emma Mackey, like all the like it's got a good cast. I mean, Letitia Wright, Annette Bening, it's good cast. But some of them think they are in two separate movies, in my opinion. Like Armie Hammer, I'd say Armie Hammer, Letitia Wright, and Emma Mackey know what's going on. They know what to do. Where Gal Gadot and like Annette Bening are just kind of like, they're going a little insane.
Gal Gadot is kind of new to acting. She's only been around as an actress since like what, 2017, 2018.
Earlier than that.
Well, this
she
decade,
was in no.
I mean like last 10-ish years.
Yeah, a little bit farther back. Let me see when her first film was. Well, because she's in Fast and Furious.
That doesn't count.
She's in 2009's Fast and Furious.
That doesn't count as an acting performance.
Okay.
It doesn't count.
Okay. Never mind. You want to know when her first film was? 2009's Fast and Furious. That's her first movie.
Okay. Point is, she's a little more recent.
Yes.
Than other people. She hasn't honed in her craft like child actor Leonardo DiCaprio or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's not quite there. And then on top of that, I feel like, you talk about the cinematography a little bit. The only interesting camera trick I can think of that I remember from Murder on the Orient Express was like the top-down view.
Yeah,
they did from like
that when they go into the room and then they come out. Yeah.
Death on the Nile, I don't even remember a single interesting like camera trick or anything. I can't even remember one.
There's it's
very
Death
bland.
on the Nile. There's a reason why Death on the Nile is probably the least favorite between us.
Oh yeah.
And I think
Haunting in Venice has got good cinematography. You got good acting performances. I think, at least for the most part.
I would say. Well, I don't think we've talked about the cast that much. Excuse me.
You mentioned their names.
Yeah. But I don't know if you would agree, but I'd say the standouts. Quickly going into the cast.
Michelle Yeoh did quite a good demon scream.
Yeah, I think. Well, when I was getting at with like Murder on the Orient Express, notable cast, very mid performances. Death on the Nile cast, half the cast was in one movie, half the cast was in the other movie.
That's what it felt like. Yeah.
Where this, it's like they all are very, like the cast knows what they are.
Everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone is. And I would say, I don't know if you'd agree, but my standouts are, Tina Fey, Jude Hill, who's the little kid. Kelly Riley, who was the
Olga?
Drake. She's Drake.
Oh.
That's her name. I was trying to find
the mom.
The mom, yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say she's the host of the party.
I don't remember her
I don't know why it just
name either.
Yeah.
Rowena? I think
yes,
it's Rowena.
Rowena Drake and Branagh as Poirot. I think this is Branagh's best performance as Poirot.
Poirot's performance, how you say it, was very excellent.
You did an Italian Poirot. He's Belgian.
I don't know what Belgian sounds like, but to me in these movies, Belgian is pretty much indistinguishable from French. So
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, but even then, it's like, but this cast, those were the 4 standouts to me. I think Kelly Riley as Drake, she gives this great like, kind of like she definitely has a secret, but you don't know what her secret is. Performance. Jude Hill as Leopold. That's the kid's name, by the way.
He did okay for a kid actor.
He's a really great kid actor, and I think
his whole character is like he's way more mature than he should be.
Yeah, but I think he has a great like rapport with Kenneth with Branagh, and then Tina Fey. I think her as like another spoiler for Death on the Nile. There's a death on the Nile, and it's the worst death because it's Book's death, who was in both Murder and Death on the Nile.
Yeah, dude, they killed him off for that.
And it's so annoying, but I was like, Tina Fey kind of fills that role perfectly in this one.
The role of like Poirot's
like second
supposed
hand
buddy.
Yeah.
Who's definitely not just roping him into this for her own interests and writing a book about him.
Yeah. But I think Tina Fey was really good in this role.
Yeah, she was excellent.
I think that's why I had her first as the standouts, is because I'm like, honestly, when it was announced that Tina Fey was in it, I was like, huh, that's
interesting.
That's an interesting choice. But after seeing it, I'm like, honestly,
it works.
Great choice in my opinion. But I mean, even like Michelle Yeoh, who isn't in the movie that long. She's in it for maybe 10, 15 minutes.
She's very much like a huge presence on the screen when she's there.
But I really, and I wrote this down, I really like that she wasn't in it a lot, because I feel like she
would have stole the show too much?
Yeah, she would have been a little too distracting. And like her being killed off, unlike Gal Gadot in Death on the Nile, they like Gal Gadot steals the scenes a decent amount in a bad way. She's like, "Oh yes, hi, yes, we're being it's like, and it's just this kind of bad acting where Michelle Yeoh is just like, I'm gonna give a really good performance, but like if they let her go for a little too much longer, that good performance could have become bad.
Some could argue that her like demon possessed screams were kind of cringy.
Yeah.
And when she has the girl's voice for a second, a little cringy.
That is that is like one of the things that I walked out. I'm like, they all said that she screamed like the girl. How did she do that?
Because the ghosts are real. Like the supernatural element.
They never really touch on that, but anyways.
Because the ghosts are real. She was real.
Okay. I mean, I'll take it.
It's a movie. Okay, Ghosts are real.
It's a movie, guys. But
yeah. Should have called Ghostbusters. If your Italian Venetian palazzo is haunted, just call the Ghostbusters. Obviously.
Yeah, 1940s Venice had the Ghostbusters. But yeah.
Details.
Anything else in like that stood out to you for Haunting in Venice? Because I have,
as opposed to the other two.
Opposed to the other two. I think we can get into the other two a little bit more here. But I do want to also say my 2 gripes with Haunting in Venice, but I want to see if you have anything else that's like,
well, I'd say
very good.
I'd say overall the plot was a lot easier to understand. Okay. Because with these point and click murder mystery type deals, it's like every character is a suspect, every character has a motive type of thing. And that's true for all 3 of the movies. The first one, Murder on the Orient Express, the whole thing was literally everyone had a motive to kill Johnny Depp, and the twist is they all contributed. They all took a stab at him, literally, all 12 people. So I thought that was actually really interesting because, like, how often do you see a murder mystery where it's not one person?
not just
It
one,
was
yeah.
everyone. Everyone. I thought that was great, actually. I think
Mhm.
that almost made the film. Also, there was like that one random scene where they're clearly in like a Jesus painting, like sitting at the table.
Yeah,
What
the
was with
Last
that?
Supper. I don't know.
I don't understand the symbolism there, but
I don't know. That's yeah.
point is, I liked how it turned out. The twist was all of them murdered Johnny Depp together.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was super lame because the whole deal was, jealous lovers. Okay, so like, you figure, okay, Emma Mackey's character is like definitely the bad guy, and then like the way you said it is like half the cast is in a different movie.
Yep.
It didn't feel like any of them were even viable suspects. None of them felt
Yeah.
like they would have a motive to kill Gal Gadot.
Well, what was there?
The only one that
you
made
bring that
sense
up.
was like the shady businessman, like her cousin,
Yeah.
quote in quotes.
But even then,
cousin.
he was like, "I would have killed her with this," and pulls
And
out
his
you
own
know.
gun that wasn't the murder
Yeah.
weapon. So like, yeah,
Um,
exactly. So none of
they-
them felt like suspects.
I will say,
And then it
like-
turned out it was Emma Mackey and her husband, but
or her
like,
lover. Yeah.
it's like in
It's
real
very
in
obvious.
real in real life when a wife or a husband's murdered, 9 times out of 10 it is the spouse.
Yeah.
That's why they interrogate them first in real life. So it's like, well, yeah, that wasn't surprising.
Yeah.
That was super lame, actually.
And
And it felt like it didn't have a point.
yeah. Well,
And then they suicide at the end.
They
So
do.
it didn't feel like a Romeo and Juliet type of thing. It was like,
no one.
wow, they're not going to face justice now.
I just quickly. I just had the realization that like, no one really is caught in these movies.
So
Because he keeps quiet.
yeah, so the first one, they
On the
all had a pretty good reason to murder Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp kidnapped a child and then murdered a child.
Yeah.
So it ruined all those 12 people's lives, and then Michelle Pfeiffer's character recruited them to get on this train at the same time
Yes.
and murder the heck out of Johnny
but
Depp. But so
no
that
one gets caught.
Poirot solves the case, and then he's like, you know what? You guys are right. You was a child murderer. I'm cool with it. I'm just going to say someone broke in the train and murdered Johnny Depp.
But like I'm saying, no one gets.
The second one,
No one gets caught.
The second one, the perpetrators kill themselves in the end.
Yeah.
So they don't see justice.
You know what? Is Poirot a good detective? If all his people that say, or everyone that he says either has done it, is killed or let go.
So I actually like that you say that, because like everywhere he goes, death follows, right? Well, they say that multiple times in A Haunting in Venice. They're like, death follows you, and it's kind of true. It's not his fault that he gets in these situations. I guess,
but
he can't solve the case before the murder happens, I guess.
Yeah, but it's just really funny to me that it's like
he's a detective. You can't do anything before a crime takes place, right?
Yeah, but no one. Like, imagine if like he was like, I am a world-renowned detective.
How you say it, the very best.
Yeah. But like someone's like looking at his credentials, he's like, okay, so you solved the murder.
You were here at this location. It says someone died there.
Let's go over the Orient Express case. So your whole conclusion was that
someone broke into the train.
Yeah. Murdered him and then left.
Honestly, not a horrible.
It's not a bad thing.
You'd have
but
to
like,
predict where the train got derailed, though.
Was he caught? No. Oh well. Okay. Let's go to your case on the Nile. You solved it, but the two that did it killed themselves, so no one like got any repercussions. Yes, but I figured it out. It's like,
well, in both of the first two, there's witnesses to say, to corroborate his story.
Not even in the first. Not
Who's
even
the
in the
detective
first one.
detecting the detective?
Whoa.
Like I was saying earlier off recording, there should be like a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern type of story where it's someone who's like not a suspect, just kind of fumbles their way into like a murder mystery plot and is like not the detective, but then it turns out the detective is the murderer or something. That'd be cool. Just saying. Give me money. Give me money, Hollywood.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, do you have a script? Do you have like 110-page script?
I will work on it. But Haunting in Venice. Actually, I don't know what I was saying. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say like, let's go over the case with Venice. You figured it out, but then she killed herself.
Yeah, she dies at the end. Well, actually, hang on. The ghost killed her.
The ghost did kill her.
Her ghost daughter killed her from beyond the grave because her mom killed her. That's like a revenge killing.
That's one of my. I will get into the grapes.
But then again, Poirot is on top of the balcony with her at the end there.
That's like an unanswerable question for me.
No one witnessed Poirot up there.
Do you think?
Okay. Hang on.
Okay.
You're one of the people in the palazzo as Poirot is back on the case, out of retirement, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know he's a famous person. Death follows everywhere he goes. And then all of a sudden, you're not in the same room with him, and then the murderer runs upstairs, and Poirot chases her, and then she ends up dead. No one witnessed anything. Poirot pushed her over the balcony.
Do you think Poirot pushed her?
No, the way the movie is, it doesn't make it ambiguous. It's very clear the ghost child killed Rowena. Not
I don't know. I have a feeling
because there's some so part of it was Poirot was drugged in the palazzo so that he would see things and hear things, lending into the ghost stories.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd hallucinate. I don't think he hallucinated at the end there. I think that's meant to be like the ghost killed her. But you could interpret that as he's tripping, he's on drugs.
That's what I was thinking.
And she either fell over or he pushed her.
No, that's what I was wondering. What do you think?
No.
Do you think?
I don't think it's supposed to be like that. I think it's very clear
that the ghost you're sticking your flag on the ghost killed her.
Poirot didn't kill her. No. But
okay.
It would be interesting if they went that route. He turned evil, cold streak, he snapped. What better murderer than a world-class detective?
What if the movie ended? So this is how the movie ends. By the way, we're gonna spoil it a little bit. Well, of course we've been spoiling the entire thing, but what if the very ending of the movie, he like walks away, he goes back to his palazzo, and the guy that bugged him in the beginning wanders in, and he goes, he like goes, Mr. Poirot, and Poirot just turns around and he goes, yes, and like shows him over the balcony and kills him.
Again?
And it's like, yeah, and it's like the Poirot evil arc or whatever. It's like that's how it ends. Is like he's actually evil now.
I do. That's one thing I really do like about the movie is the little epilogue there.
Yeah,
where he. The whole time, like at the beginning, he's shown like rejecting all these cases because he doesn't want to work anymore. But then in the end, he's like, you know what? I'm going to do what I'm best at. I'm coming out of retirement.
Yeah.
Let me help you, random Italian
guy. They also need to, they need to keep it at least that so that, these movies could continue.
Okay, I was going to say, because this one ends and the way he's talking to the guy who like was the first in line to see him, it's like Poirot was obviously thinking about it because he like had it all figured out already as he was talking to him.
Why didn't he just tell him?
Yeah, why didn't he just? Well, I guess because he was retired. But anyway, well, maybe he didn't think about it until after.
Yeah,
the whole events of the movie. Anyway, point is, he's out of retirement. It doesn't really tease another movie.
Well,
the first one, Murder on the Orient Express, is like there's a case in Egypt.
It literally ends with there's a death on the Nile. That is like how they end it.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because I hadn't seen Death on the Nile yet, and I was like, but I knew about it. I know I knew somewhat of what happened.
Yeah.
And it starts and he's walking into the bar and someone goes, "Congrats on solving the case on the Nile." It's like
I swear they forgot
that
they teased the sequel at the end of the first one. Because the second
then they
one,
rewatched it and was like, "Oh fuck!"
Like the second one starts out and he's just chilling, and then Book invites him to a wedding, basically, and then the case happens. It's like there wasn't a case for him already.
Yeah.
So like they had to throw in a line. It's like, oh, he already solved the case in Egypt. He's
Which is
just
really
already
funny
there. He's already in Egypt.
But he's not in Egypt at the end.
At the end, like he's going to Egypt.
Yeah.
Right. And then the beginning of Death on the Nile, he's already in Egypt, and then like you already solved that other case that we didn't see.
Yeah.
And now you're already here. So the events of Death on the Nile can happen, even though there already was a Death on the Nile. Kind of stupid.
It is. That is just one of many things about Death on the Nile.
I don't know if that's like some kind of.
That is kind of stupid.
Is that like a reference to the old movie, maybe? Or
maybe
something?
I don't know, but
is it like a different murder case? Maybe it is.
Probably, but yeah.
Either way, it's dumb.
Yeah. I want to quickly bring up because I think we're.
I think they forgot.
I think we've covered all three of them pretty well now.
Well, I will say, especially with the so like Murder on the Orient Express, you get this random detail of a different crime that did not take place on the train, about the kidnapping of a child that had nothing to do with anything you've seen in the movie up to that point, and it just comes out of left field, and then it turns out that's extremely relevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The second one was kind of bland, but then I don't know if there was something that came totally out of nowhere, but I feel like there was. You know what I mean?
I think it might be the book. Actually, the reason why Poirot was here was not because he was taking a holiday. He was actually spying on. I think that might have been the only thing.
What was his deal? He was like.
He was hired by Book's mom to
check out his love interest.
Yeah.
The whole second movie is like, okay, the first one is about justice, which I think is paid off because in the end.
First one's about justice, second one's about lust, and this one's about.
Well, hang on. So the first one, I think it's paid off because in the end, it turns out everyone murdered Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
And Poirot is like, what is justice? And he's like, I think justice is Johnny Depp getting murked in this scenario, so I'm gonna let it go. None of these people are getting in trouble. The second one is about love, and it kind of dips into Poirot's background a little bit with his wife who like died some point before the events of the first movie. So you get a little backstory on Poirot, which is nice because you don't get any in the first one. But it's about love, and it's like I don't know how it's paid off at all.
The second,
like Death on the Nile, where does the theme of love pay off? I feel like nowhere. Poirot,
no,
you figure out why Poirot grows a mustache. I guess that's the payoff.
Maybe it's that love is
to cover up he literally covers up his scars with a mustache.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe if
so that his wife would think he's hot still. So it's. So there's something there, but it's not very good.
I think if we're bringing up as like that's love, it might be that like love can end.
Is where the heart is.
No, love.
See, like
love is
okay,
pure,
but if it's taking this long to think,
I'm trying to phrase it.
Very good theming in the movie, right?
Hold on, I'm trying to phrase it.
Phrasing.
I think what the theme of it, if we're saying that love, if one's justice, two is love, I think the second Death on the Nile, the theme of it is that love is pure, but death can basically get in the way of love. Because every single love interest...
lame, bad.
Bad. It's me trying to like find something.
Not good.
It's not. I wasn't gonna say it was good.
You have to like dig. I think there's something there, especially with like the little flashback of Poirot with his mustache.
Well, like Catherine dies, Book dies, the love triangle between Armie Hammer, Gal Gadot, and Emma Mackey die.
Way more. Okay, like, the first one person dies. The second one, 5 people die.
And in this one, 3.
So they realize like, okay, maybe more is not is important. But
and speaking of,
I don't know what the theme of the Haunting in Venice is though, because he comes out of retirement.
Believe what you believe.
That's not the best either. That's not like super strong. I think the first one had the strongest one with the theme.
Yeah, but
the
I mean,
whole
like,
theme of justice, and then
I know what's gonna happen is that we're gonna sit here for about a week. It's gonna be like
and then
2 weeks later, and then it's gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, hey, here's the actual theme that I thought of, you know, or I might see it again and I'll be like, yeah, that's the theme. That's the theme.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, we both established that we like the Venice one the best.
Yes.
That being said, I don't quite have a grasp on what like the connecting through line through it is. Although I will say the first scene where he's rejecting those cases and the end where he accepts them and does what he's good at.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out of retirement. There's something.
That's what I thought. Like,
there's something there, but I don't know if you could put that in one word. I don't know what the word would be. Justice, love, and then what? I don't know.
Belief.
Well, yeah, there's the whole believing thing, like the legends and the ghosts, whatever.
Believe. What if the theme is just
yourself?
Believe in yourself? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's it.
I think like probably the best is, at least for right now, where we're still kind of marinating with it, is I think belief might be the theme of like,
yeah,
what is true, what is not, and
okay,
like,
you know what? He says some lines about truth.
Yeah, it might be truth, because I mean, well, in all honesty, the
truth
death happened.
Okay, maybe just the word truth is what.
Yeah,
just truth.
Or justice, love, and truth.
Something like that.
I like that. That's
Makes
a nice.
sense.
That'd be a nice tagline for like the Blu-ray box set.
Yes.
Of all three of these.
Yes.
And it's just Kenneth Branagh with Poirot and like 3 backgrounds.
Yeah, it would be blue,
blue,
orange,
yellow, and red.
Blue, orange, and then kind of grayish black.
It's more of a yellow for Death on the Nile.
Venice takes place entirely at night, so.
Yeah, well, like, it was odd though, especially since we hadn't seen Murder on the Orient Express or Death on the Nile before we saw Haunting of Venice. But it was really odd to see that each, for Murder and Death, they had those like neon title cards with like the kind of like tube letters, and then this one just kind of is like
on
it's
the
different.
Orient Express, which is also, isn't that like the same train line that they used in Dead Reckoning? Seems similar. I feel like the letters on the train were the same. Anyway, point is,
I don't know
what it is with trains.
Kenneth Branagh's just like seeing Tom Cruise, and he's like, I need to do that.
I'm surprised that in Murder on the Orient Express they didn't have like a fight on top of the train. That would have made it an action movie, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first one had like that neon lettering. But I
and
think
then
that
this one doesn't.
I think that was supposed to be like the bar, like inside the train, though.
Maybe, but they do it on Death on the Nile too.
Death on the Nile had like a weird typeface. It was supposed to look like vaguely African, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
But anyways,
the third one I think had the best theming and knew what it was the best.
Yes,
out of all 3.
Very much so. But I will say, quick, 2 gripes.
2 gripes. Okay.
2 gripes, or maybe 1. I think we went over the whole ghost girl at the end. That's my 1 gripe with it. My other gripe is that,
what about it in particular? Like, you just didn't like that? Oh, ghosts are real.
I didn't like that it was just like, oh, we're just gonna play it off as ghosts are real. Oh wait, no, it wasn't that. It was the Michelle Yeoh screaming. I was like, because they all say that it's the girl's voice, and I'm like,
and then she's like, "Mama."
Yeah, like there's no real explanation for that. It's like, that to me is like kind of proof they don't explain that away.
That's the whole point.
So it's like, I don't know.
That's
but
anyways, isn't that the whole point?
The
like,
biggest
the truth. You're like, oh,
maybe, yeah.
Okay, so.
But anyways, I don't want to get into it.
I will say that I did like that they use some standard horror tropes. They go like him in the bathroom. Bathrooms are like a weird horror space for some, especially
him turning on the faucets, nothing coming out. I thought blood was gonna come out. Honestly,
yeah, that would have been a little too stereotypical.
It was too cheesy. Yeah.
Him seeing the girl in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
him seeing the girl in the mirror again, and the
Little
mirror
ghost
shattering.
girl.
The chandelier falling was good.
Yeah.
The stupid parakeet flying around.
God, yeah.
Good for
Nope.
if you see a bird in a movie, in a scary movie, it's good for at least 3 jump scares.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. Yep.
If you see a bird of any kind, especially a parakeet or like a talking bird, it's going to be used for a jump scare. So that's why it didn't shock me. Like, I was expecting it.
Oh, I was expecting it too.
Like, at any point, I was like, it's going to fly around a corner.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it happened at least once. So,
But
horror tropes, I think it used them pretty well.
they did.
The setting was very creepy.
Yes.
That palazzo. So,
But I will say, the one thing that wasn't scary.
palazzo is really fun to say.
It is a fun word to say, but there was the one. If we're going jump scares, there is that one jump scare, or it's not jump scare, but it's like, oh my god, someone died and it was a locked room, and then it's revealed that he killed himself. The doctor killed himself because that's my one. That's my main.
Mom called him on the in-house line that wasn't ruined by the storm outside. Called him
and said, "Kill yourself,
or else
and
I'll murder your son." So that was blackmail. But like, if you get a phone call,
yeah,
and well, he's in a locked room, so that kind of sucks.
That
sucks for him. But
yeah.
Anyway, point is like you get a phone call, you're like, you better see that knife on like the knight in armor type deal.
Yeah, kill yourself.
Grab the knife.
that's all she says.
Stab yourself with it, or else I murder your son. Wouldn't you just like not do that?
Yeah, I like
because we're talking. It's 1947. Okay, there's no cameras.
So
she would have to go to the room to see if he's dead. Anyway,
exactly.
Right? So like she has to open the door at some point. Someone has to open the door to find the doctor.
See, and this is why it's ridiculous.
So it's
she
like,
literally
wouldn't you just be like hiding beside the door, like ready for her to come in?
Maybe, but also Poirot has the key. I don't. That's my what. Like I said, that's my one gripe. That's my one gripe.
That part is really stupid and almost unravels the entire plot. All 3 movies have a ridiculous winding plot that really makes no sense. But the third one does it in a way where you're on board for most until this one part where the doctor has to kill himself. Yeah. It's like I said, you should just not kill himself.
It was this movie's unnecessary death.
He had some mental issues. Like so maybe he'd be more susceptible. He believed the ghost for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's not even clear. Maybe he thought a ghost told him on the phone.
No, it's very much her. But like that's like I said, it's my one gripe.
Wouldn't you just not do that? Because they have to come in the room to confirm that he's dead.
It's my exact thing. I don't understand it, and it's so annoying.
The other thing is like supposedly Poirot has the only key to that room. What if she is lying and there's a second key? Like
that's what I thought they were gonna do. That's what I thought they were gonna do.
You're just taking her word that that's the only key for that room. Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
I know she lives there and she wasn't maybe the number one suspect.
It's genuinely, not even gonna lie, it's kind of infuriating me right now. I'm like, this makes no sense.
Okay, well,
it's so dumb.
So like the first movie is like that random other crime is involved.
Mm-hmm.
The third one kind of does that too, because the in that house, her daughter
but it makes a lot more sense.
It makes so much more sense.
Yeah, there's a lot more tie into it.
It makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
it is kind of contrived in that we've dragged Poirot here. Poirot's not supposed to be here. He's never supposed to be there. No one accounts for there being a detective there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why he's able to figure it out. But it's like really convenient that Poirot is there.
Yeah, yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah. No, it's besides that one little gripe, I think this is a great movie.
Venice definitely it doesn't take as long to get to the mystery either.
Yeah.
Like the first couple minutes you're already there.
Yeah.
Maybe because he didn't have he was already in Venice.
This is the shortest out of the 3. Death on the Nile,
you could literally chop off 20 minutes of that movie and it would be better.
It'd be a better movie.
Murder on the Orient Express. It's
a little too
an
long
hour.
as well.
It's an hour 40. It's not. There's some stuff, but like I mean, you kind of have to have it a little bit longer to be like, hey, this is Poirot because it's the first
Haunting in Venice honestly felt a little short to me watching it.
I thought it was a perfect runtime. So
could have been a little bit longer. I would have complained.
But anyways, yeah, I think after jumbling through all three films, I think our rating.
You can't talk about one without the other two.
It really is.
Even though they're not really related, but they're all the same idea.
Yeah.
Point and click adventure game.
Pretty much. Yeah. But I would say I think we can both agree that the ranking at least is Death on Nile in third, Murder on the Orient Express in second, and Haunting in Venice is the best out of all of them. It is definitely a good movie to go see. And I wanted to quickly end this with, do we want to see more of Poirot, or do you want to see?
Is this where the roads end?
What do you mean?
For
Haunting in Venice. I thought you were saying, is this where the roads end for this pod for some reason? I don't know. But
there's no roads in Venice, that's for sure.
That is true. But would you? I mean, I think I could see maybe like one or two more movies. I would be fine with it. It's kind of like Knives Out, where like I could get 3 or 4 more of those movies, and I'd love it.
So like each of the three kind of have the same setup. Let's get 12 famous people in the same room that can't leave for some reason.
Yes.
Some contrived train is derailed. We're on a boat, or it's really stormy outside. We can't
leave.
The canals are too choppy.
Yeah.
That's the reason they couldn't leave in the third one. But it's like, let's get 12 famous people in a room together, and then one of them is the murderer.
Yeah.
That's it. So you could do that endlessly, and it would still be fun.
Well, I also want...
But I feel like maybe you should.
Now this is the thing, though, is that would you want like more original stories, but involving Poirot? Because like this one kind of...
How many books?
There's like 32.
32?
There's like 32.
That's a 32 movie franchise.
Yeah. Still less than the MCU.
Let's do every single one.
Well, but the reason why is like this could potentially go on for a decent amount of time, because would you want more original stories?
Here's the real answer. 20th Century Fox is going to look at the numbers. They're going to be like, Haunting in Venice did all right.
Mm-hmm.
It made its money back.
I mean,
maybe.
It's sitting at a $60 million budget, and the box office right now is...
$12.
No, not $12. Deadline 5 hours ago. A Haunting in Venice leads second worst box office weekend year to date.
Wow.
It is estimated for this week's box office to make $62.5 million for everything. So,
well, a $60 million budget? And it's gonna...
No, not Haunting in Venice makes 60. That's for every single movie this week. Like, that's how much will be made across everything this week.
Jeez, it's not a very...
as of right now,
week for movies.
September
is the new January.
I think September has always been like January, but the
summer is over, folks.
But right now it says that the Friday daily intake was 5.5 million. So
I don't think I think it'll barely make its money back. Maybe
barely.
No, I can see actually, I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's going to make it there.
I feel like it might just barely, because like
my mom remarked that she saw an ad and one like, oh, that looks
interesting. A lot of people were like, oh, I kind of want to see that. So I don't know. I think like people will see it. I mean, especially since Death on the Nile's budget was $90 to $100 million.
That's so ridiculous, because like, what did they spend it on?
I don't know, but it made $137 million. So Murder on the Orient Express was $55 million in budget, and it made $352.8 million.
That's because of the cast.
That's because of the cast, and also it came out in 2017. So,
yep.
I think it'll make its money back. I have a feeling it will. I think it's going to be a slow rise.
It's definitely the best out of the three, like in terms of actual like quality of the movie, I think.
But I personally would like to see another one. I'd like to see it come back, maybe even for one more, just kind of see if they can do it. Do you want Branagh directing all of them, or
I
just
think Branagh is figuring it out. I think by this third one,
he's really hit his stride, so he just needs to keep doing them.
This one, he had good camera tricks because you have the camera perspective on Branagh himself for that one part where he's kind of tripping, which I like. And then the part with Michelle Yeoh, it's focused on her as she's spinning around. I like that. The Dutch angles totally work for a haunted house movie easily.
Yeah. But do you
much
think
better Haunted Mansion than Haunted Mansion, wouldn't you say?
Very much. But do you think like that would translate well into, because we see it doesn't really translate well for like Death on the Nile. Even Murder on the Orient Express it translates all right, but
that's because I think I'm gonna call out Death on the Nile specifically because I don't think like Haunting in Venice has the added theming of it's a haunted ghost story in a creepy Italian palazzo. It lends itself well to certain camera ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Death on the Nile, it's like it's too clean and crisp for somewhere that's literally taking place in a dusty, dirty desert, right? Like where is like, film on location in a desert somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get some like actual footage of dirt.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you're going for a steamboat, I guess have the steamboat be like freaking in actual water or something. You know what I mean? There's a CGI crocodile eating a bird for no reason.
Yep.
You remember that?
Yes, I do.
CGI. No reason.
Yeah.
You can't get Animal Planet footage of a real crocodile? Like, my God. Like, there's no interesting camera things going on. Because, like, think about the most basic desert movie ever. You got, like, the Middle Eastern instruments and then, like, the sun coming over the horizon and, like, it's all wavy. And they don't even do that. It's like, what kind of atmosphere are you establishing for your desert movie? Hello.
It's not even the desert though. It's on the Nile. It's
mainly
Nile, on the water.
The Nile goes through the desert, moron. It's in Egypt. Jeez. It's in Egypt.
I love that you're getting all upset about this movie and you just are like,
no,
fucking moron.
I'm just saying.
Idiot.
Like, okay, Murder on the Orient Express. It's like, okay, you're on the Orient Express going through some mountains. Yeah. The mountains don't look real. I don't know.
They don't, yeah.
That one, it's like, I don't even know what you do because it's like, it's a train going through.
I was just like wondering because like
different cultures, you're going through different countries or whatever. Like,
yeah.
What do you focus on? But
and I think that's why movie. I think that's why we could have why I asked like would have more original stories work because it dips they dip their toes in original story with this.
Murder on the Orient Express takes place in a cold place, right?
Yeah. Takes place in a hot place is Nile.
Do something that makes it feel cold, my guy.
I think that was the color grading and everything. But
the color just make it blue.
Yeah, basically. But I mean it dips its toes in with like more original kind of aspects because this is based on a book, but it's not the plot of the book where Murder on the Orient Express and Death Nile is pretty much the book. So would you yes or no, would you want a more original story from them?
Someone who's read all the books to tell us if it's better than the books or not.
You know what? I'll read them all.
Someone in the comments, if you've listened to this and you've read the books, give us your thoughts.
Of course.
I'd love to know.
Yeah.
Or anyone who's seen the 70s movies as well.
Yeah.
No, generate some conversation.
Okay. Yeah.
Possibly.
Of course. Well, I think that's pretty much it for Haunting in Venice talk.
Did you feel like you were scared? You feel haunted?
I did get scared at the chandelier shattering because I wasn't expecting that to happen.
That was pretty cool. I like the chandelier shattering.
It's a good little jump scare.
They spoiled that in the trailer.
Did they? I didn't watch a trailer, honestly.
They spoiled They spoiled the ending too in the trailer a little bit.
I did see that part where the like little ghost girl, but
where she's on the balcony.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, next week, I don't know what we're gonna be doing. I think we decided best movies to stream, or some good movies that are available to stream now.
Isn't there a little Spy Kids 5 coming up?
Spy Kids 5 is coming out. That's on Netflix. We'll do that. We can do
nostalgia.
we could do
What year is it?
What
year is it?
Yeah, it's 2023.
Nah, Spy Kids is coming out. It's got to be 2008 or something. 2004 maybe. I don't even know.
Spy Kids came out in like 2000.
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's Spy Kids 5.
Should we just do a Spy Kids? Would you watch all 4 Spy Kids movies?
I've probably seen them.
I've seen them all too, but I'd want to rewatch them.
I think it's better if you don't. It's supposed to be nostalgia, right? Spy Kids 5 is put together in such a way it's like, remember this? So like you don't have to. It's nostalgia. Yeah. You don't need to have remembered the like a cameo. That's what I want to know.
I think next week will be the best streaming movies. Yeah.
What's available?
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Next week
we'll let you know.
Look at that. You can follow this podcast on Spotify at not After the Credits, The Fine Cut, as well as on YouTube at After the Credits. Also go follow our Instagram page at _AfterTheCredits_. You can
official webpage.
The official Instagram of our channel. But you can also follow me personally on Letterboxd at _filmworker_. Where can they find you?
Trevzilla on Letterboxd.
Perfect.
You can see my reviews of these movies that we just talked about.
You can see you could probably even get some little context of what we're going to be covering the next week on there as well.
Yeah, because I always kind of try to put up a review of something I've watched. I probably write too much. No one's going to read all that, but...
But, yeah. We'll see you next week when we talk about some good and maybe bad movies that you can stream now.
Yeah, later this month for sure we'll be talking about Henry Sugar and The Creator.
Yes. Also Saw Patrol. That comes out. So
Saw Patrol.
I think we have a good September, probably even a better October, and
spooky
season. Great December and November coming up, so stay tuned for those. Yeah. Thanks so much for listening.
Bye.
Bye.